So how was your immigration journey look like?
Perfect. So, Arjun, I came to Canada in 2018 through Express Entry program under FSW, Federal Skilled Worker. Me and my wife, we both came to Canada directly on a permanent residency.
There has been another concern about processing time.
If his or her file is picked in that draw of 80, definitely he will get a recommendation letter in a same, but make sure to give maximum and accurate information.
So you mean Canadian permanent residency can be revoked?
Yeah, definitely.
What's your tips for them to remember while submitting a PR file?
So most important thing is, as I mentioned, most important thing is to give accurate information to IRCC, maximum information to IRCC. Don't hide anything from IRCC, and to call relevant, genuine documents.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Beyond the Borders with Arjun, and this is season 2, live on CKLU 96.7 FM, streaming at cklu.ca on the Radio Player Canada app and on different social media platforms. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being amazing, audience so far. And season 2, we are elevating Beyond the Borders. More informative, more impactful, more insightful, and more dedicated to you. On today on Beyond the Borders, we are breaking down Ontario's permanent residency pathways, spotlighting the new RCIP and FCIP pilot program as Greater Sudbury has officially opened and launched two IRCC approved pilot programs to address local labor shortages and attract a golden opportunity for skilled foreign workers for 2025 and for coming many years as well. 525 sports for RCIP and 45 sport for FCIP. These programs are managed by the Greater Sudbury Development Corporations and aim to build on the success of the RNIP, which welcomed over 2,700 newcomers in 2024. Sudbury now becomes one of only two Canadian cities to offer both RCIP and FCIP, a major boost to regional economic growth and integration efforts. And ladies and gentlemen, as you know, becoming a Canadian permanent resident unlocks full access to work anywhere in Canada, universal healthcare, affordable education, social benefits, family sponsorships, and a clear path to citizenship. A powerful step towards security and, of course, opportunity. So, we will explore who is eligible, what are the eligibility criteria, which communities like Sudbury, North Bay, and Timmins are participating, and how these pilot, fit alongside OINP and Express Entry. We will also cover applicant and employer requirements, legal considerations, and practical hiring strategies, including LMIA options. So to dive details into today's major concern of many international students, work permit holders, or out of country applicants for PR pathways, I have invited a very, very special guest and amazing human being, Mr. Puneet Mehta, Barrister Solicitor with Weaver Simmons LLP, which is, Northern Ontario's largest law firm, and a business law professor at Cambrian College. He originally came from India, immigrated to Canada in 2018, and became Northern Ontario's first dedicated immigration lawyer at his firm. He's quadrilingual, fluent in English, Hindi, Punjabi, and Urdu, making him a true advocate for our diverse newcomer community. All right, to listen to the complete conversation, all you have to do is stay tuned and stick around. We will be right back. All right, welcome back. You are still tuning into CKLU 96.7, and this is Beyond the Borders Season 2 with me, Arjun, and I have none other than my guest for today. Please welcome professional lawyer Puneet Mehta. He's the Northern Ontario's first immigration lawyer in the biggest law firm of Northern Ontario's, which is Weaver Simmons LLP. Puneetji, welcome to the show and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Arjun. Thank you for inviting me.
Since we are talking about
Yeah.
PR pathways, immigrations, and everything, and many other things, I want to begin with your immigration journey. You came in Canada in 2018.
Yes.
So, how was your immigration journey look like?
Okay, perfect. So, Arjun, I came to Canada in 2018 through Express Entry program under FSW, Federal Skilled Worker, me and my wife. So that was the direct PR program, and we got a PR very quick. And during that time in 2017-18, the processing time was like just 6 months. It was really express entry at that time.
So, what drew you to immigration law? What was the reason
Yes.
behind being in the immigration law and everything?
Yes, before coming to Canada, I had experience in immigration law as a lawyer in India also.
Right.
And moreover, when I moved to Canada and I got my license in, I think, around December 2020. After that, also, I did practice in corporate real estate and immigration in GTA. So yeah, so I had an interest in immigration and experience of almost 4 5 years in immigration before I joined Weaver Simmons in Sudbury.
Right. And you were basically passionate about immigrations and everything, procedures.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, Puneetji, I believe there have been many more changes in immigration recently,
Yes.
as you know that.
Yes.
So, can you please highlight some of the major immigration changes recently in 2025,
Yeah.
in recent months?
So first we can go with RCIP.
Right.
So this program previously it called RNIP program, which was closed last year, I think somewhere around 31st of August 2024. So now they launched a new program with the name RNIP, Rural Community Immigration Pilot. So there are few changes in this program also as compared to RNIP. Under RNIP program, that program was open program, so anybody can apply. So if somebody is meeting the requirements, they can apply for RNIP program. But now under RCIP, Sudbury, even other communities like North Bay, Timmins, Sault Ste. Mary, Thunder Bay, even other communities in Canada, they all made this a specific priority sector and priority occupation based program. So which means this is not a open category program. And moreover, under RNIP, employers only that employers can support our RNIP program, like who had a business in community for almost 1 year, but now they change it to 2 years,
Okay.
basically. Yeah. So, and the second important change which I need to discuss with you that it's related to spousal work permits.
Mhm.
So previously, anybody who wants to get extension for spousal work permit, open work permit, the requirement was that his or her job should be in tier category 0, 1, 2, 3. But now they changed it to only to tier category 0 and 1. So definitely they have IRCC launched a list for tier category 2 and 3 also who can apply for spousal open work permit extension. But that list is very specific list which is given on the IRCC websites. So mostly people with the skilled trades and you can say health sector, education sector, they are eligible to get a spousal open work permit extensions or if job is under tier level 0 or 1. Another recent change is in LMI's labor market impact assessment. So now, basically, there is a rule that if in any area unemployment rate is for that city or town is 6% or more than 6%, in that area, LMI will not be approved for employer until and unless that LMI is for high wage. Under high wage, we can still go with it. But if LMI is for low wage and for that community, if unemployment rate is 6% or more than that, so employer cannot go with getting approval for LMIA. And the last recent change, which is very, very new, I think launched it 2 days ago, it's related to OINP, Ontario Immigration Nominee Program. So I'm getting calls from many clients and even many applicants who applied for OINP. They are getting emails from OINP today also, and I think yesterday. So all the applications for OINP, they are automatically now withdrawn. So people are getting emails from OINP authorities that your applications are withdrawn, right? So, but this is the very normal procedure. OINP introduced this all the first time, so there is a no need to worry. They are going to launch a one new employer portal on 2nd of July this year. So in this, first employer will register with OINP authorities who employer who wants to support employees, right? After that registration, candidates need to resubmit the expression of interest for OINP. So this is the very recent change that applications are automatically withdrawn, and from 2nd of July, employers will register and then applicants can again apply for OINP.
Thank you so much for updating about the major immigration changes in 2025 and recent changes as well. Now, next topic is going to be very, very essential for the applicants and the people who are confused about the IRCP, RCIP, FCIP eligibility or the application process, and those who want to know more about it. So we're gonna jump into immigration pathways to permanent residency in Ontario.
Yeah.
So first of all, we know RCIP, FCIP, one of the permanent, immigration pathways
Yes.
to get permanent residency. So what are the other general immigration pathways to get permanent residency in Ontario?
Yes, so first we can go with all the available permanent residency programs in Ontario, then we can discuss more about the
Sure.
RCIP.
Yeah.
So first is express entry. Express entry is divided into three main streams, which is called FSW, federal skilled worker, then CEC Canada experience class, and then next is a trader skilled trade class under express entry. And this program is a federal based program, and most important thing is it's not mandatory to have a employer support in this. If you have a experience, then you can go with this and you can apply on a point basis. As I mentioned you in starting, I personally came through this program, express entry FSW. So second option can be at a provincial level, which is also called PNP, and in Ontario it's called OINP. So OINP is also divided into 9 different streams. Further, we will discuss about the various eligibilities also for each stream. 3 of these streams are employer job offer support. Basically, for these 3 streams, candidate needs to have a support from the employer. It's called International Student Stream, first stream. Second is FSW, foreign skill worker. Third is in demand skill stream. So these 3 streams are based on employer support offer stream. Rest 6, it's a master stream, PhD stream, French speaking stream, and then trader stream, human capital priority stream, and business entrepreneur stream. And the last is rural program and RCIP, which is community based programs. So yeah, we can discuss about RCIP. So this can be overall these 3 major areas in Ontario through which candidate can get a permanent residency.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. So for now, let's directly jump into RCIP and
Yes.
FCIP. So what are RCIP and FCIP? And what are the key differences between RCIP and FCIP programs?
Yes.
Let's begin from there.
Yes, so RCIP program is Rural Community Immigration Pilot, and FCIP is Francophone Community Immigration Pilot. So, with the name, we can see that under RCIP, there is a no mandatory requirement to have a French, right? If somebody wants to go with the FCIP, definitely he should be eligible or he should know about the French language proficiency, right? So the major difference between these programs is I can tell you like two, three major difference. So first for RCIP in Sudbury, so there are almost 525 seats for a year, and FCIP is 45 seats in a year. And most important thing is priority sector and priority occupations are different for RCIP and for FCIP. If we go with the RCIP, it's mostly related to health, education, trade, transport, applied science, and natural resource and agriculture, right? So, and there is a specific NOC code list for this, which is fall under priority occupation. So there is a list on the website. Everybody can go there at RCIP Sudbury website and can see that eligibility list. And for FCIP, you can say like some jobs like cashier, such kind of jobs are also eligible under FCIP, which is not in RCIP. So it's a major difference related to priority occupations under these programs.
All right. So, who are eligible to apply for PR through these programs?
It's very clear through RCIP, FCIP program that most important first point is that there should be a valid job offer for the candidate. If somebody is living in Sudbury, they can apply. If somebody is not living in the Sudbury but they have a valid job offer through a designated employer in the community, they can even also apply. And community can also give approval to basically some sectors or some employers to hire through RCIP, even if those candidates are not living in Canada. So employers can hire candidates from out of Canada also through RCIP and FCIP. So yeah, definitely we can discuss about the eligibilities of RCIP basically.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to apply through RCIP permanent residency, the most important first thing is under this program is that his or her employer should be a designated employer.
What is designated employer?
Yes. So designated employer is basically, let's say if somebody is having business in any community related to RCIP, that business should apply to community. They need to give some basic information to the community about the business. So authorities will check the eligibilities for that business if they are running a business in community from last 2 years, and if that business is fall under priority sectors which they choose, right? If business falls under that priority sector, then with some other requirements, community can grant approval to that business that yes, they can hire foreign workers or they can support permanent residency to the employees. So first, the procedure is business will apply to community, right? Let's say we can go with the RCIP Sudbury. So employer will approach RCIP community through website. They will first register intent to be a designated employer with the community. So then community city authorities, they will check the eligibilities for the employer and they will contact them and they will then register that business as a designated employer. There are few trainings also involved in this, which is mandatory part of this procedure. So when business is registered as designated employer, anybody can check a list also. So if you go on RCIP, Sudbury or any other community official website, communities already launched the list of that businesses which are already designated, right? So only those employers can support employees through this RCIP permanent residency.
And that designated employer list can be changed every year.
Oh yes.
Or
even basically not every year, every month also.
Oh, wow.
So it's open because I think this month they gave a deadline to register up to 12th of June. So if some employer missed that deadline, even they have opportunity to register for next draws for next month also, right? So it's open. So
Beautiful,
in every
beautiful.
community, yeah, so they are registering employers for this support.
We are still having, more information about RCIP requirements for applicants. So, what are the work experience? I want to dive deep into the each requirements.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
specific requirements. So, what are the work experience requirements, and are there any exemptions for this?
Yes. So first we will talk about the exemptions
Sure.
for a work experience. So let's say if somebody studied in Sudbury, let's say in a Cambrian college, he or she studied for a 2 years program, continue 2 years, not 1+1, continue 2 years. Then those candidates can get exemption to show 1 year of work experience. Let's say if they completed studies this year in April 2025 or April 2024, so up to 18 months they can apply with the community without showing 1 year of work experience because they fall under exemption of this 1 year work experience requirement. If somebody completed masters from Laurentian University, they can also apply RCIP without showing 1 year of work experience up to 18 months, right? But most important thing is, let's say if somebody completed a course 1+1 from Cambrian College, 1 year, then again 1 year, those people are not exempted from this 1 year work experience requirement. So now we will talk about 1 year of work experience requirements. So if somebody is not exempted, let's say if somebody studied in Sudbury only for a 1 year, if somebody is moving from another city or another country to Canada, so they will not get an exemption for this 1 year of work experience. They need to show this 1 year work experience plus 1560 hours in last 3 years. How this 3 years will be calculated? Let's say if you are going to submit your application in June 2025, then that candidate must show 1 year of work experience from June 2022 to June 2025. In between these 3 years, they need to show 1 year of work experience. But here in RCIP, the good point is candidates can even show work experience during the studies also. If they work during the studies, part-time work, that can also be calculated in that experience, right? So this is the main work experience requirements.
What are the language requirements?
It depends on the tier basically. Let's say if somebody is working as a assistant manager under tier level 0, if somebody is working in tier level 0 or 1, then the language requirement is CLB level 6. Then for 2 3 it's 5, and it starts from 4. Basically minimum requirements, if somebody is working in tier level 4 or 5, then I think it's a CLB level 4. But important thing here to notice, this is only eligibility requirement, but it's always a good approach to have a good scores in language test, IELTS or CELPIP, because if we go into the score calculations, score tables, right? So if more the scores in IELTS, more the points candidate will get in RCIP. So it's always a good approach to have a good scores in language test. It will make a difference. Yeah.
Next, what are the job offer requirements?
So job offer requirements for RCIP is that your job should be full-time and permanent with no end date, which means if let's say somebody is working with some employer for 40 hours or 35 hours in a week, but his or her job is not permanent, then they cannot apply for RCIP. So basically job should be full-time, permanent, and with no end date. No end date means job should not be a contractual job, right? These conditions should be there in job offer requirements.
So how are points calculated? This can be a very exciting question for many people.
Yes.
How are points calculated under RCIP?
So basically, for points calculation, there is a no federal rule. So it depends on community to community. So every community have a different criteria to calculate the scores, but yeah, definitely there are few basic things on the basis of which they calculate the points, like IELTS, education, work experience, and then relationship with the community, right? So for Sudbury, most important this community scoring factor is it's related to, first they will see if your job is into priority sector, they will give a points. For example, if you are working in a health sector, trade, transport, candidate can get a 15 points, right? On the other hand, if they are working in education or government service, they will get a 10 points. And then next is a priority occupation. So for administrative assistant, accountants, there is a 0 point, right? But on the other hand, for engineers and for technicians, welders, they will get a 10 points. So basically, there is a point table which is given on the website of RCIP, Sudbury, and other communities also. So candidate can go through that table and can calculate the points. But most important thing here, which I need to highlight, is eligibility through this RCIP thing. So let's say if we can take an example of this Sudbury RCIP program. So under priority occupation, there are few knocks, which is like administrative assistant, accounting technician, bookkeepers, right? So let's say if somebody is working as an administrative assistant at a gas station, so he will not be eligible for RCIP, because the thing is his job should be under this priority occupation, means under this knock, and his employer should also be under priority sector also. Which means if somebody is working as administrative assistant in health, education, trade, and transport, they can be eligible. Right. So we have to see priority sector also and priority occupation also.
So are there specific NOCs eligible under RCIP, like
Yes.
Specifically for communities like Sudbury, North Bay, Timmins, Thunder Bay,
Yes.
so St. Mary?
Communities already launched that eligibility list, eligibility knock codes on the official website. So for Sudbury, it's different. For North Bay, it's different. For Sault Ste. Mary, Thunder Bay, Timmins, it's different. But there are few knock codes which are common in every community, which is like RN, registered nurse, right? Early childhood educator, and there are other jobs related to health sector. But rest knocks, every candidate should check on the official website of each community. If I'm not wrong, like basically in Sudbury, truck drivers are also eligible, but it's not mandatory that truck drivers are eligible in other communities also. For example, as far as I know, basically in North Bay, if I am not wrong, so there is a no knock code for truck drivers, right? But there is a knock code for security guards, and security guards are not in priority sector or priority knock under Sudbury. And hotel industry is eligible under North Bay, but it's not priority sector under Sudbury. So basically, candidate needs to check on official website of every community. They can see what knocks are eligible in specific community.
What would be the processing time for RCIP and FCIP program?
Most important thing here is, for processing time, we can calculate or we can take idea for processing time of federal submissions. But let's say if somebody submitted file at a ground level with community under RCIP, so it all depends on the points, right? So if somebody is on a, let's say just example, on 80 points, right? If his or her file is picked in that draw of 80, definitely he will get a recommendation letter in the same month. But if somebody is sitting on 50 or 60, right, maybe he needs to wait for another 4, 5, 6 months, or right, it all depends on the draw. But let's say if somebody gets a recommendation, then what's the normal processing time with my experience? After submission to federal, it will take approximately on an average around 10 to 12 months. This is for RNIP program because RCIP is new, so processing time can be different. But the good point here in RCIP, FCIP is it's very important. Let's say if somebody's work permit is going to expire, right? They can get a 2 years of work permit extension through FCIP. If they have a recommendation, on the basis of recommendation, if candidate apply at IRCC, after getting a AOR, they can apply for a work permit extension on the basis of RCIP recommendation.
And what about the submission deadline for
Yes.
this intake 2025 for RCIP and FCIP?
The good thing is now I think all communities they already launched the list for that deadlines. Basically how this will work for this year in Sudbury, the submission window is for June, it's from 23rd of June to 27th of June. During this window, employers need to submit the files for candidates, right? Then next is July 14 to July 18, August 11 to 15, August 29 to September 5th, then 22nd September to 26th, 10th October, 16th, 30th, 24th November to 28th, and last December 8th to 12th of December. So, but most important change in this RCIP is it's a employer driven program, which means employer need to submit the application for candidate. But yeah, definitely candidate can take legal advice on the eligibilities and everything. But during this window, employers will submit the application.
We have lots many topic to discuss about, and for now, if you are an employer looking to support a skill foreign talent through RCIP, FCIP, next conversation gonna be about the criteria and requirements for this pilot programs for employers.
Yes.
So we're gonna be making super short regarding employers. And specifically, we're going to jump into applicants. Okay,
Yes.
we will be more focused on applicants. So, what are the minimum requirements for employers to support RCIP applicants?
Most important thing is for employers that business should be operating continuously for at least 2 years in participating community, basically.
2 years,
and
okay.
business should be under the same management. And the business should conduct at least 75% of business work inside the community, and there are few other things like business should not be in violation of employer compliance regime, and basically employer should go with the trainings which are mandatory, and employer should be a designated employer.
Right.
But as far as I know, there is no as such financial revenues requirement for employer as it's mandatory under OINP. So yeah.
And what are the steps must an employer take before
Yes.
participating in the program?
So first step is that employer should first identify the employees to whom they want to support. Then employer needs to contact community where the business is. There is an official website, they can go there, and there is a link called register as a designated employer. They just need to give basic information for the business, and community and or city authorities, they will contact back to employer and they will go from there. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to FCIP requirements.
Yes.
What are the basic eligibility criteria for FCIP?
So for FCIP also the basic requirements are almost same. Basically the most important thing is for FCIP also there is a requirement that candidate should have a valid full-time permanent job offer with some employer. There are few difference in language things, but rest things are almost same related to 1 year of work experience, related to exemptions, so it's almost same. Yeah.
When it comes to NOC codes,
Yes.
which NOC codes are eligible under FCIP?
Yeah, for FCIP also communities already launched that list. It's over the community website. If I'm not wrong, I think there are total 25 knocks under FCIP also or RCIP also, which are eligible. So candidates can go to the website and can see those knocks for any community.
All right. We just talk about RCIP and FCIP. To know more details
Yes.
about it, you can always contact Puneet Mehta ji and Weaver Simmons LLP, which is in Sudbury. Now, let's jump into other permanent residencies pathways. It's going to be very beneficial for those who are not eligible to RCIP and FCIP too. So let's talk about Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program, ONIP. What are the streams under OINP?
Yes. So, most important thing here is first candidates need to see that if they are eligible under RCIP, their knocks are in that. But let's say if somebody is not eligible under RCIP, they can definitely see some other options also. As I mentioned you, it can be express entry or OINP, which
Right.
is PNP, OINP. So first we will discuss about the various streams of OINP and I will tell about the eligibilities and all.
Sure.
So it's my advice to students or people on a work permit that they should figure out OINP also. Because 2 weeks ago there was a draw specifically for Northern Ontario under OINP and even for Sudbury also. Although that draw was a targeted draw, but the good thing was that that draw was for Northern Ontario and one draw was for Sudbury. So people should apply to OINP also and express entry also if they are not eligible under RCIP. Most important thing for OINPs, first candidate needs to see that if employer is eligible to support through OINP. So requirements for employer is that employer should be in Ontario from last 3 years in active business, not just the registration, but business should be active in Ontario for last 3 years. If it's outside of GTA, revenue should be 500,000. And another requirement is for that business, there should be at least 3 Canadian citizens or permanent residents already working in that business. Then that business can support employees through OINP.
Okay.
So now I will discuss about the various streams of OINP. So first stream is a very basic, easy stream. It's called OINP International Student Stream. If somebody studied in Ontario, they can apply for International Student Stream. So if somebody studied for 2 years, they can apply. If somebody studied for 1 year, they can apply. But the only thing is his diploma should be Ontario graduate diploma, not simple certificate or something. They can apply under international student stream. But mandatory thing is job offer should be at a tier level 0, 1, 2, 3. It should not be under 4 and 5. And there is a no as such work experience requirement. People can apply under OINP International Student Stream without that work experience as such. They need a proper job offer, full-time permanent job offer. Second stream is FSW, which is called Foreign Skilled Worker. For Foreign Skilled Worker, candidate should have at least 2 years of work experience in same stream. But the thing is, if the profession or if job is related to something which requires a license, for example, registered nurse, lawyer, truck drivers, they have a license to do the job. They can get exemption from this 2 years of work experience under FSW in OINP.
Okay.
But important thing here is the salary should be a median wage for that specific job. It should not be a low wage like in international student stream. Third is in-demand skill stream. This is specifically for tier level 4 and 5. 4 and 5, there is a specific list over the website, but like a construction labor, right? Home support workers, they all can be eligible with 9 months of work experience in OINP in-demand skill stream. So rest, all 6 streams are without employer job offer stream, like master stream, if somebody did masters, PhD, right? Then next is French speaking, and then you can go with the trader stream, and then human capital priority stream, and last is a business and entrepreneur stream, which is not in continue in this Ontario. So they
Okay.
pause this stream, last stream. But for masters and PhD, they can apply even without a job offer. They can apply for a permanent residency.
Let's quickly talk about the Federal Express Entry Program. What are the
Yes.
basic requirements for Express Entry, and also can you please briefly explain the three programs under
Yes.
Express Entry?
For Express Entry, first is FSW, Federal Skilled Worker. For this program, as I mentioned you earlier, it's not mandatory to have a specific job offer for this. If somebody is working with employer, yeah, definitely in Ontario or in Canada, they will get more points, right, with a Canadian work experience. So for FSW, the requirement is experience should be in tier level 0, 1, 2, 3. Here, most important thing is at least candidate should have 1 year of work experience in a same knock for tier level 0, 1, 2, 3. So if somebody having experience, they can calculate the points over the website CRS calculator. They can check the points. They can submit the express entry profile and can get an invitation under FSW. And for CEC, the main difference is FSW, anybody can apply even from outside of Canada. But for CEC, the thing is candidates should have a Canadian work experience at least for a 1 year. And this 1 year work experience should also be in tier level 0, 1, 2, 3. But for completing this 1 year of work experience, candidate can combine different knock codes or different work experiences, right? So this is the main difference. FSW can apply, anybody can, like basically if they meet the eligibility, they can apply. For CEC, there is mandatory requirement to have a 1 year of Canadian work experience. And for trade also, basically there is a specific list over the website. If somebody is eligible under that, they can also apply for a trade skill stream, basically.
I want to touch base about the legal issues, risks, and
Yes.
procedures. We do have very less time, but then I'm trying to go ahead and touch this topic as well. What is misrepresentation, and what are common issues that can lead to misrepresentations?
So misrepresentation is a, you can say, if candidate is giving different information to IRCC as compared to previous applications, or candidates are hiding information from IRCC, it can lead to misrepresentation. For example, if somebody is not telling about the previous refusals to IRCC on the application, if candidate is not telling about the criminal records, of if candidates are not telling about the medical history, so it can lead to misrepresentation. Another common thing for misrepresentation is, let's say if candidates are coming here on a study permit, right, after 2 3 years now they are okay to apply for a permanent residency. So most important thing is it's mandatory to give IRCC same accurate information at a permanent residency applications also, the information which they gave at the time of study permit application. It should not be mismatched, right? It can lead to misrepresentation.
So, how do previous refusals and criminal records, incorrect informations affect the application?
Yeah, so it's clearly, if IRCC notice these things, this kind of application will fall into misrepresentation. Sometimes they give a chance to candidates to give a clarity on this through procedural fairness letters. But even in few cases, they can right away reject the applications also. It's a very, very serious matter. So it's my advice, always give accurate, full information to IRCC. And if you are not sure, then you can write explanation letter while submitting the permanent residency, but make sure to give maximum and accurate information to IRCC.
So, you mean Canadian permanent residency can be revoked?
Yeah, definitely. So
Can you give an example where PR status was cancelled?
yes,
Very
so
short.
yeah, permanent residency can also be revoked, right? If IRCC figure out that base for giving that permanent residency was not accurate, candidate basically use some forged documents, or even after getting permanent residency, if somebody charged with serious criminal charges, serious charges under drink and drive or terrorism or dealing with some drugs or something like that. So definitely IRCC can take action and can revoke the permanent residency.
What's your tips for them to remember while submitting a PR file?
So most important thing is, as I mentioned you, most important thing is to give accurate information to IRCC, maximum information to IRCC. Don't hide anything from IRCC and give all relevant, genuine documents to IRCC. Yeah, definitely. If somebody is confused or something is missing, always give explanation letter to IRCC that I don't have this document or something, but give as much as accurate information which you can give to IRCC.
All right, almost at the end. Before we leave, there is, immigration process stages.
Yes.
What are the stages involved in the processing of PR application?
Okay, so normally under permanent residency, procedure or stages involved is like eligibility check, right? So IRCC will check if you are eligible for which program you applied, eligibility check, background check, criminality, and basically other checks are like medical check, right? And these are stages where IRCC check, right? And if during this procedure IRCC or officer finds something misrepresenting,
Right.
or something, they can issue a procedural fairness letters to candidates to give a clarity on these things. So yeah.
All right, all right. Last question. And I'm sure I have to invite you. This is not enough. I have to invite you for another episode. It's going to be part two episodes to
Yeah,
talk more
definitely.
about hiring from outside Canada. We're going to talk about hiring foreign workers, LMI overview, LMI
Definitely.
exceptions, and many other things in our next part as well. But before we leave, what options are available to a candidate if the PR or other immigration application is refused?
Okay, so basically, first thing can be, if you can say, reapply, right?
Okay.
Through some other program or maybe through same program. Or definitely they can have a option of going for a judicial review in federal court if candidate think that the refusal is wrong, right? So we can move to for federal court through judicial reviews. Yeah, so these are the options in case of refusal.
Thank you so much, Puniji, for
No problem.
sharing your expertise and helping our audience unpack these practical and complex immigration pathways. All right. And for more information, as I already mentioned, and for personalized guidance, you can always reach out to Puneet Ji and his team at Weaver Simmons LLP directly. All right, before we leave, we have a small gesture of appreciations from BTB team and in collaborations with Isan Arts. So I want to hand over this. Can you please unwrap this? And talking about Isan Arts, Isan Maharjan is from Nepal, and he's the self-taught artist from Sudbury and has specialized in leaf arts, painting, and skis. You can find him on Isan Arts on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It's Isan Arts, IHHAN, Isan Arts, and his number is 705-988-7820.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much
You
for
want to say
this.
anything?
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. Beyond the borders with Arjun.
It's sketched by Isan Maharjan.
Yeah,
He's from Nepal. He's Sudbury based. He's a very, very amazing artist. Isan Arts.
yeah,
You can
it's
find
really,
on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
it's really beautiful. Thank you so much, Arjun. Thank you, Ishan, right?
Right.
Yeah, thank you so much
Thank you
for
so much,
inviting.
Isan, and thank you, Puniji and Weaver Siemens, for collaborating for season two. Thank you so much, and thank you,
No
Isan
problem.
Arts, for being art partner for this season. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and see you next
Sure.
episode.
Good night. Thank you.